Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toku Portal podcast for Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger. I am Vashi V, and joining me today is...
Right. Welcome to our double-length podcast again.
At least we have an okay reason for this, because it was holidays. And because I did not feel like up to it, given the work week I had.
Yeah, just scheduling conflict because of the holidays, really. So, normally when we do this kind of thing, it's like, oh, it's convenient because the first episode we're talking about doesn't really have much going on. But this week I feel like it's the opposite, where it's the second episode that there isn't much to talk about.
There's really not. We get there's a little bit of prodding and set up for moving forward.
It's really just story setup and symbolism.
Right.
So, we're starting off with episode 36. Kaito and Zox have just found out that Hakaiser is actually Kaito's dad. Which, Zox thought that Hakaiser acted a lot like Kaito, and this explains it.
Yeah, and I'm more amazed that, we all knew, kind of where it was heading, but none of us fully made that connection of he actually just like Kaito. At least, not out loud.
Right. You made that connection, right away, though.
Right, because it was, I made it more off logic. Right. It had nothing to do with his behavior or anything else like that. It was literally just pure logic.
And, we still thought he was a machine, so I rationalized it as, oh yeah, because he was the original design for Zenkaiger.
Right, and, back when we still thought he was just overall based on his brain, is well, yeah, that makes sense. But we didn't fully piece his personality together. It's oh yeah, no, 100% that's his dad.
It wasn't until Zox got suspicious that I got suspicious of, hold on a second.
Something here's not right.
So, we finally get the scene we have been waiting for since episode 2, I think. The one where Bakuas finds out Iji Rude has been lying to him this whole time. Not what we thought it was going to be about, but still, you mean to tell me you kidnapped 2 Earth scientists and have been stealing their ideas for the past 10 years? And you lied to me about it.
The fact that didn't end with "you asshole," I was amazed.
Bakuas is pissed that he had been deceived by his own henchmen, but is impressed with the evil initiative. So Ichirori is on the fence right now.
I have expected this to be the normal leading the scene that triggers the death scene for EJ Rude. I thought this was going to be the end for EJ Rude.
No,
with that happening, and then I expected next episode EJ Rude gets forced out into the field or something.
Yeah, but
that's where I expected it to go. Because to be fair, that's about the normal. That's the normal death flag.
Bakuas is taking it better than expected, especially with his typical tantrums. So this week we've got Surprise World. Is that it?
Yeah, or Jack in the Box World. I don't. It's
I don't know. He's making a bunch of random things pop out of places. And when the Zenkaigers show up, it's like, oh, some balloons popped out of this box, and a clown jumped out of that one, and it's all harmless.
I half expected, because this is Toei and what Toei would do, for the clown to be important.
Nope.
Because of the amount of focus they put on the clown.
They hired the actor. They needed to give him the screen time.
Right. Like, and in my head, I was like, okay, it's not relevant. Now I'm like, well, was that a, like a guest cameo? Because they do that. Again, they do that a lot. And I'm like, in my head, I was watching the flip, and I'm like, was this Noel? Was this, trying to figure out, like, who it could have been? No, it just was not.
So, we have a comment, I think.
No, Pixie posted a GIF.
Oh, okay.
It's a GIF of the running gears. And to screenshot the ones that is real. I just don't know what my screenshot button is.
Yeah. So Surprise World shoots the Zenkaigers' guns that they transform with, and it makes the gear holster pop out on a spring. Doesn't do anything right now, but later it'll prevent them from transforming when they can't close the top.
Not a gag I expected to pay off the way it did.
So, since Surprise World can't fight, he summons, the Kudaks to fight the Zenkaigers, and tries to run away, but Zox is waiting for him in late, and kidnaps him.
Yo-ho-hoy.
You're coming with me. And the others quickly figure out, like, shit, is he using him as bait to lure out a Kaiser? Over a pit of spikes.
Oh yeah, like Zox went kind of brutal with that. Like, to me, this was like the same as when, what the hell was, I forget which monster it was, but the setup for the beginning of Fang Joker.
Right. I forget which monster it was, but
yeah, where they kidnapped Akiko and
Shotaro.
Philip and Shotaro. Yeah. And
Philip had to come and save him.
Yeah. I don't know why my brain said Philip when I damn sure didn't mean to say Philip. Like, it's rare to see this level of intended brutality.
Yeah. And they knew Kaido would be against this idea from the start, so they didn't tell him.
Right. Like, and I will honestly admit I've kind of missed those type of storylines in Sentai, where certain team members come up with a plan to do something that they know will catch some crap, but they do it anyways. We don't get that a lot very often anymore.
Especially when it's like not the like red that's coming up with the plan. Like, no, you got another team member that has ideas too.
Right. It's like, but like I've always enjoyed the ones where in this case, where as good hearted as the plan is, it goes a little too far. No matter how effective it would have been and is.
So the plan half works. Backup did show up, but it's Barashitara.
Mr. Tank Man.
And he's equally surprised to see Zox as Zox is to see him. He was expecting Kaito.
I will also give them credit for at least explaining why it was Barashitara.
Right. This was his plan. He figured they'd try to lure out Hakaiser, and Hakaiser doesn't work for him. So he sent his own monster to lay bait. Uh,
Like, I do like the fact that they're still bringing in that, for lack of a better term, competition between the two of them.
right, like they got their own plans. For a while, we saw Barashitara sending out his monsters, and then when Hakaiser introduces, like, it's been all E.G. Rude for so long that you forget, like,
Oh yeah, he does things too.
Barashitara has his own monsters that he deploys. But Hakaiser doesn't work for him, so uh, so his plan was to wait until they captured the seemingly weak Surprise World so that he could lay his own trap. Surprise! Surprise World is actually evil, and this is when the things popping out are like explosions and fire and saw blades.
Overkill like crazy.
Pretty genius plan overall.
Oh yeah. I can't argue that. But and this is also a point of like where I like Barashitara's plans a little bit better, because his are usually multifaceted. A lot of his plans are, no, we're gonna get him with, hook, line, and sinker with this, but yet no, this is our goal over here. This is what's really gonna happen. Instead of just the monsters being just that one trick.
Oh, 1 second. So, so the Zenkaigers can't transform because they can't hold the lid closed and spin the handle at the same time, unless they reach over and hold each other's lids closed one at a time while that person spins and then can hold it themselves. And so
I was curious how they were gonna deal with that. This was not what I expected. It's definitely not what I expected for Zox's.
A very simple plan. And they do each other fine, and then it's Zox's turn, and Jurin tries telling him, "Could you not dance this time?" But nope, he will dance.
I think the funniest bit about it was like Vrooman background for that. He's kind of dancing along with them.
And then they line up to do their roll call, and Zox just steps out of the way.
He's like, doo.
And like almost gets hit by the giant logo behind him.
So I'm still waiting because we're now 37 episodes into this, so we're in endgame territory, officially with 37, or the end of 37. The fact that we have yet to get an actual full team up, full 6-person roll call, like true and proper, I'm amazed.
Because like Kaito early on tried saying the 6 of us, but Zox like walked away, like
distinctively right.
And so Kaito was stuck to the 5 of us.
And like even when they still do all 6, because they do all 6 from time to time, Zox makes himself clearly separated by letting them do all of theirs and then doing his. Like, I'm curious if they're going to continue that all the way to the end. Watch us get the full 6 team up in the 10 years after movie. because wait 10 years for Zox to finally go, yeah, fine, I'm one of you guys.
Oh.
And I officially know how I want that to happen. I want Marvelous to show up, smack him in the back of the head, and go, "What are you doing? Go."
Speaking of exactly that, Hakaiser decides to join the fight, despite explicitly being told not to. But Hakaiser doesn't care about who's deployed the world. He's not part of the territory war. He's not part of the territory war. It's his job to protect the world, and that's all he cares about.
Fuck you, I'm doing my job. Quite literally. Like, the more we see of Hakaiser, the more obvious it is. And I'm gonna be sad when that character arc gets finally wrapped up. Or depending on how the show goes, when the show ends. Because Kaiser, despite being, the villain, has been an absolute delight. Just because of his energy and, his Kaito-ness. Like, Stacy's been amazing and delightful through this entire show, but for an entirely different reason. His is more because of his story rather than...
Right, Stacy has more than one emotion.
Right. Whereas, though it makes sense why Kaiser only has the one emotion.
But, I'm talking about most of the cast of the show have, one emotion.
Oh, yeah. To be fair, about one emotion and, one brain cell for most of the time.
But, like you said, that's why Stacy's so interesting. He has depth to his character.
Right. Because, we get Kaito's plight as a character. He wants to find his parents. He wants to protect the world. He has depth to his character, but it's not really
as
presented.
Frequented.
Yeah.
You don't see it as much.
Right. Because 90% of what we see for it is when we do get this moment, like in the case of his mother, is, oh, yeah, no, we'll find her. Don't worry about it. We got that. Meanwhile, we got to deal with this. And it's so focused more on Monster of the Week shit than his hunt for his parents. Which I get it. It's Sentai. You have to have the, Monster of the Week shit.
And since Hakaiser's here, Kaito is determined to bring his dad home. But Stacy joins the fray. No, you can't have him. And Hakaiser's just standing there I don't belong to anyone, though. Kaito
and Stacy, no, it's my ball. No, it's my ball. Meanwhile, the ball. Dude, I'm not a ball.
I'm my own ball. I'm my own ball. I make my own choices. And then we get the best finisher. Because Kaito's busy fighting Stacy, Jurang grabs the gun to finish off the world. But then the logos start floating around and he's like, you know what, this is kind of scary. Vroom, you do it. And it blows Vroom's top off.
This is not how I never expected them to, put a topless character in a Sentai show. I will admit that was a fantastic gag. It would have only been better if the joke that gets made afterwards wouldn't have been just a verbal gag. With Rooms, am I on right? It would have only been funnier if they actually put him on backwards.
And the next thing we see of him walking to frame, he's twisting and turning, making sure he's popped back into place.
It's the thing like that. It's as obvious as that joke is, we keep forgetting they're robots. and that is a testament to the show itself, because we do keep forgetting they're robots, despite the fact that they're obviously not human. We know they're robots. It's been, explained to us, multiple times throughout the show. But they feel very human. So in my head, it's my brain keeps equating them to essentially Q Ranger. I was oh yeah, Balance, he's not a robot. he's an alien. You know, it goes. My brain goes that route rather than robot until they literally do the straight up robot stuff.
Right. Speaking of Key Ranger, sometimes in that show you got a good shot of like the characters fighting on the ground with the robot fight in the background.
I will admit that was fantastic.
And this episode, we get as the Kudai or the Kudai test or whatever is showing up to like for the big mech fight. You see on the ground Stacy grab Kaiser and run.
I will admit I missed that the first time.
It is a great shot. And then
like, and that's the thing is like with the shows, like there are things that you may not catch like the first time. Is like I knew something happened because there in my head there's like there was no reason for that shot to exist the way it did without there being something else, because they usually don't have the reaction shot like that. But while missing that, it's like it going back and rewatching is like it doesn't change like the dramatic of that scene. It just adds a little more finer details to it, and this show is really good with the finer details.
And then the giant robot is defeated with the power of it's just a prank, bro.
God damn it. And the fact they ran that like every stupid prank short video on like YouTube or TikTok or anything is like I'm like that was Jesus.
Japan loves that stuff.
I know they do. I've seen some of their game shows. Let's see if we can blow a spider into somebody's mouth. Like I get it, and I get that the style of humor and like that for Japan is fairly normal. I mean, apparently it's fairly normal in the US too. I've seen some of the dumber crap that people have done for pranks. But also on the side note, at least we got to see what we expected when the gear got used last time.
Go-Go 5?
The proper Go-Go 5.
Oh yeah, because with Barashitara's attack, like Flint got caught in a fire, and so Go-Go 5 rescue squad, like they go in, they get her out.
Like they weren't even trying to like, because usually they it's similar situations like, but it's never fully straight up what they do. It's usually a variation.
But this
so
was
in the case of this was straight up, yeah, no, with 100%, you are now Go-Go 5, go have fun. Go do your job.
So back at Colorful, Kaido kind of chews Zox out for the plan. Zox's defense, like, hey, it did lure Kaiser out, but Kaido's argument is, yeah, and look at the danger you put everyone in doing that. Flint.
And like it makes sense that, you know, in that point of like the show makes a good show of the characters knew from the start they were going to get chewed out for it, but they were doing it anyways. So while Zox got chewed out, he also like he didn't get pissed off or angry about it because he knew it was coming.
So yeah, he just begrudgingly agrees to Kaito's rules, but Flint thinks this is what makes Kaido fun, because normally they just do whatever the hell they want, but living by rules is something different. Alright, anything else on episode 36?
No, that was it. It's fairly straightforward.
Alright. Episode 37. Flynn, Kaito, and Vroom return from searching the parallel worlds for Kaito's mother. Vroom immediately starts picking up the trash around the stadium that they arrive at.
Because of course he does.
I just love the detail of him like picking up the trash while having the conversation about whatever world they were at. Meanwhile, Manjin is 10 feet away helping a little girl find her lost doll.
Like this at that point, and what I just sent you, we'll talk about later. I just want to find it before I forgot. Again, like this harkens back to that same setup that we have with this entire show of the convenience of everything being right next to everybody.
I mean, suspension of disbelief for the sake of storytelling.
Okay, there's the pitch meeting explained the suspension of disbelief fantastically. There becomes a point where it's just absurdity. Like the entirety of the beginning of Home Alone. Fuck the suspension of disbelief in that movie.
All that just to get this 10-year-old kid alone on Christmas.
And the more like in terms of the suspension of disbelief is like, and this is the problem I have with it because when it comes to like movies and stuff and shows is I'm very logical with it, which is why this bothers me as much as it has this entire show.
But like the point of Home Alone is the comical over exaggeration of everything in that movie.
Right. It's like, and because of that, the suspension of disbelief, no matter how bullshit it was in that movie, everybody bought it. And everybody just ran with it as like, no, there should have been more questions about this. Suspension of disbelief is a wonderful thing.
Anyways, this week's world is Radish World. Or is it? Everyone seems to be attacked by garbage. What's going on here?
And again, 100%, I feel this episode, the entire pun, or for lack of a better term, the pun or power of this episode, 100%, it was to explain things to the Western audience.
This is also the only time since we've been watching this particular subgroup that they did not translate the world.
Yeah, that too.
Excuse me. So because Vroom was just picking up a bunch of trash outside a stadium, he gets attacked by a monster ball of trash.
I do also like the fact that it pointed out that wasn't the only trash she cleaned up that day.
I think I missed that part.
Well, it's why, because he initially gets attacked by the trash that out of the trash can, then he gets attacked by the trash off Zox's ship, and then he gets attacked by the trash on his way back to the shop. Like when they finally get him home, it's like it's why he gets buried behind the fence. So he gets tagged with it like 3 times during the episode. It's just
So, whoops.
Also the hearing on that man.
Who?
The hearing on that man. Vroom.
Oh.
The biggest unexpected gag for that. This is with the roll later.
So Stacy shows up to protect Daikon World because they're not deploying a Kaiser right now since the Zenkaigers are trying to capture him. So sending him out is not necessarily a good idea. But this gives Bokuwas another idea, like, hey, maybe this frees Hakaiser up for something
Something
else.
else.
I'll think about it.
Started the endgame plot. Given the episode number, nobody can argue with me.
So, for the time being, Stacy will now be the enforcer. And his dad, mocks him for being just another puppet.
Like, to me, is like, and that was one of the things, like, as soon as that happened, I was like, because I'm still waiting for the flip. We're all still waiting for the flip. Like, do you have any idea how much more satisfying it would be if the final straw is Tara just being an ass?
Haha, you have friends.
You have friends, but you're still just a puppet. Swear to God, if he quotes Ultron when he switches, I'm gonna be pissed. There's no strings on me.
Oh, thought it was gonna be something about you created me or something.
That would work too. But no, it's more the Pinocchio line that Ultron says. Ah.
So everyone at Colorful tries to figure out what's going on with the radishes. And they start to piece together, like, God, I don't fully understand. It's like the part that you throw away, I guess.
It's more there is nothing to throw away. The whole thing, there's nothing to throw away, so stop being wasteful.
Every part of a radish is edible. Even the skin and leaves. That's what they were saying.
Okay. So, yeah, it's 100%. It's a don't be wasteful thing.
Right. If you throw it away, you're wasting it. So that's why the whole...
They're being attacked by trash.
They're being attacked by trash because it's like, don't throw me away.
And like I said, like, to me, this is more something that was done for... Well, two reasons in my head. To, explain to little kids, don't be wasteful. And to, again, also, explain things to the Western audience.
Get creative with food. Like, hey.
Right, that too. Is like, I need to get back into this kitchen.
Those brown bananas, like, hey, make banana bread.
Sounds good. Hey, you've got oatmeal and raisins? You can make the best cookies ever. I will fight the internet on that one. I don't care.
You got really defensive when no one said anything.
I know the internet in that one, so I know I'm on the short stick on that one.
So I think my favorite scene in this episode is when the guy is being chased by a car that was labeled out of service, and Kaido just stands there and watches, and then goes in, helps the guy being attacked by a broken umbrella.
Yeah. Let's leave the guy who's gonna get run over by a car. This umbrella's a much bigger problem. Like, I'll give him credit, at least. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt of him going, I'm not a robot. I'm not stopping that.
So, the little girl Majin was helping. Flint is also helping out too, because there's a whole
subplot
about Big Sister subplot. Basically, the girl didn't lose her doll. She threw it away because she was ashamed to show it to friends because she made it herself.
And it wasn't as good as what she thought.
It wasn't as good as what she intended to make, so, that whole artist thing.
Yeah.
But now she realizes that she wants it back, so she wants the monster to attack her so that she'll be attacked by her doll, so that she can get it back.
So I have one issue with the way this entire thing plays out.
Is it
The fact that no point did they ever let anybody else know what what they were doing. Because they literally she starts flying around with the girl, and everybody's like, "What are you doing? That's dangerous. Why are you doing
time
this?"
to go find Mimi-chan. Who's Mimi-chan? So it's not just the doll that comes at her, it's all the trash she's ever thrown away, so Flint and Majin play backup with their guns.
Because of course they do.
Meanwhile, the doll comes up to her with a knife. Where did she get the knife?
Goddamn fucking Chucky flashbacks.
Did the girl throw a knife away?
I mean, it could have. So I can legitimize that one a little bit. It could have been a knife or stuff that she was using while she was creating the doll. And then realized this sucks, so she threw not only the doll, but
also, the rest of the garbage just kind of tackles people, but this doll was ready to cut her.
You're right. It's like
this was one angry doll.
This was not playing around.
Talk about vengeful ghosts.
Somebody watch Chucky.
Flynn sympathizes with the girl because when she was that age, she made her own music box, but it wasn't that good, so she threw it away instead of showing it to her parents. But she regretted throwing it away and eventually went back for it.
Right. Like, it was a cute, tender moment. And it was nice to get more depth to Flint.
And Majin sympathizes because she understands what it's like to have an object that means a lot to you, but when you try to share it with others, it can feel embarrassing.
Her crystal ball.
Her magic orb.
Which she's constantly being kind of... Yeah, I will give her credit. She has been kind of ragged on about it. Because about every time she goes to use it, everybody looks at her and goes, that doesn't work. Why are you doing that?
I mean, she has like, what, a 12% success accuracy?
She has more success if she just transforms. You know, to the point where she actually has magic powers.
So, I don't remember. How do they defeat the world again?
The world or the monster? Or the Kudeist?
What do you mean?
Are we talking about the monster, big monster?
The world, the small monster, sorry.
3-person,
Right, Gowon and Juren, like...
holding Kaito.
Right, so, so Stacy shows up to do his job, but Kaiser shows up anyways because, no, this is my job and I'm gonna do it. Not in an intimidation sort of way at all, though, just enthusiastic, like, this is my job, I'm here to protect the world.
I don't care who's running shit.
So everyone else is dealing with them, so Juren and Gowon just kind of tag team the monster and beat the shit out of it.
And then Kaito ties up his dad. Wait right here.
And then goes to do the finisher. Hey, will we be able to support you with just the two of us? Blown on their asses.
Juren, yeah, that went about how I expected it to. It's the little bits of dialogue that make this show amazing.
Right, just the subtle comments while shit's going on. Like, when they're transforming and stuff.
The fucking roll call for this. I need to talk about this since we're in the monster fight. This fucking roll call is just... I forgot Vroom was transformed. He's been transformed the entire episode since he got hit with the trash.
I forgot about that too. So it's going through all of them, and then it just cuts back to him underneath the trash,
sticking his arm out. It's like in my hand. I'm like, and to me, this just solidifies the fact that Sentai suits have microphones in them for them to talk to each other. I don't care. it doesn't explain why they yell at each other or yell towards each other during a fight, but whatever. Because there's no reason for Gowan to have done that when he did.
Oh, was it this episode where you see the monster, the Kudai test showing up in no, not Zux. Stacy grabs Zenkaiger.
I think that might be this one.
Yeah, that might be this one.
Because because he was left chained to the pole.
And then Stacy goes and cuts him free and bails. It's the new Kudai test, so they bust out the CGI for the big mech, all-together mech. All together.
I just realized we haven't seen Zox's original main mech in a while.
No, whenever they bust Zox out, it's usually Zenkaiger. The last time we saw it was in the background because he was dealing with that while Kaito was dealing with daddy issues.
Right. Like that was it. Because now it's just Zenkaiger. It's Zox is involved. And of course, they defeat the Kudai test with stupid pun. And not so much a pun, but yeah. I would have been okay if they just beat the shit out of the monster this week. I didn't need the giant Yachan.
Yeah, they use Lupin Ranger's magic dial fighter to conjure up a giant vision of Yachan serving food that goes great with radish, so that all the radish goes to the food instead of attacking them. That leaves the monster defenseless.
God, this show's weird. Like when I saw them use the dial fighter pop up, I was not expecting the giant Yachan.
Me either.
I mean, I was expecting something about equally silly, but that was not what I expected.
And so they return the doll to the little girl, and Kaito celebrates by saying that next he's going to find his mother. And then cut to Bakuwas talking to Geej. Hey, I've thought about it. Kaiser is freed up to do something else. This could be interesting.
I as much as I'm not really looking forward to the start of the next series, only because with the track record, like you said, we're bound to not like one. We're due for a little Sentai disappointment.
Next episode looks great.
Oh, the next episode looks fantastic. I'm not looking. I'm on the fence about the end game for this show. Because on one hand, by God, am I ready for it?
Oh yeah, it's starting to feel like it's dragging.
Because and to me, it has been for a while. I think that's what made the inclusion of Hekkaiser more lively.
It's like
it freshened up the show a bit.
It's like hitting it for me now. Like this show is dragging on. Like kind of ready to wrap this up now.
But with this going to the end game, like on one hand, oh my God, is this needed? At the same time, like I'm not gonna want this to end. Or at least not as soon as it will. Because like it's the point where like with a lot of the previous Sentais, like there's so much more that this show could do. Because you can run the Gokaiger route with it. It's like there's so many different worlds and different possibilities for what this show could do. Do I want them to do it? On one hand, hell no. I don't need a season 2 of this because it'll drag out just as much. But the same idea is like, no, there are some pretty good ideas that could be implemented. Is just time based. Also, I want to see what the Bakawas can do, or if he does anything. I wanted to come out that all this time that Bakawas was literally just a machine made by Gage.
That'd be a great
Bakawas was the puppet all along.
It could be that like we've had too much time to overthink this, but that'd be a great reveal.
Oh yeah, it would. 100%. I still want Gage to be the final villain.
So
it would be the best bird reveal villain ever, because the last one we got sucked ass.
It took me a second, but it's like, oh, yeah, right, yep.
Right, Q Ranger.
Alright, so I dug back a little bit. Kyo Ranger. 48 episodes. Lupin versus Pat Ranger. 51.
We did this like a month ago.
Yeah, but I'm going over it again for a reason.
Between like 45, is between like, I think we decided 46, 47.
I'm going over this again for a reason.
Okay.
Fuck. Ryu Soldier, 48, and Kyo Major was a short 45. So, Kyo Ranger and Lupin versus Pat both aired in February, but Ryu Soldier, Kyo Major, and Zenkaiger all aired in March.
That would account for the extra episodes to get it to.
So 4 from December, 5 in January, 4 in February. That is 13 episodes. So if Dawn Brothers is also airing in March, Zenkaiger could be looking at 50 episodes. If we
I would be down. I would be down for that, especially because if not, we've got 10 episodes, 9 to 10 episodes to rush through everything they've built up that still needs to be resolved.
Right.
Plus Endgame.
Definitely not. Dawn Brothers definitely isn't airing before February. I can't think of any Sentai that have done that. Maybe there have been a couple. Unlikely though. So we're looking at a minimum of 9 episodes remaining, which would put us at 46.
Right.
And I'm gonna say the maximum is 13, putting us at 50. Unless they go for that 51.
That rare 51. Like in terms of Dawn Brothers, like it's more morbid curiosity at this moment for me.
We know actually nothing.
we know nothing. We have the rumors because nothing is confirmed that this is supposed to be based off Momotaros and all those, the legends of
the legend various... of Momotaro.
But everything it makes that we've heard saying it kind of does all line up. But I just have the morbid curiosity about the decisions for what little we've seen of the suit. And by little, I mean the silhouette. Because my God, that looks weird.
Yeah.
Like even just like the body size is weird too. At least to me, it seems very, very thin. Despite, I mean, it's all spandex for all of them. Like, but it seems thinner than usual.
Maybe it's just that the belt is thicker than normal.
That is a possibility. Like, I don't know. It's like, because it's between that and yes, it's supposed to follow Momotaros and all that. It's like, but it's also supposed to be like season 2 of Zenkaiger is the other rumor. Yeah, what? That is the other rumor, because apparently it's the members of the team are not human. They're robots.
Oh, that's what they mean by that. Like, oh, it's another like machine. Like
From what I've read, the rumors are literally they're still Kikanoids, like specifically Kikanoids.
specific. That's weird.
I don't know how legitimate that rumor is because again, we're still in rumor mill.
Yeah, I'm taking that with more than one grain of salt.
Right, like I'm taking it as the if it is true in any realm of possibility in my head, it's I'm following it with the same rumor that Two Kaiser is a member of the Gokaigers. He's not, but he is. Who know? You know, it's that toss up. Where do you fall on the line? It's more just waiting to see out of everything that's been thrown into the air what sticks. Because there's been some insane shit that I've read. And I'm like, yeah, I don't see that.
Yeah, no. Well,
We've been going for an hour. So I'm not going to touch on Kamen Rider for a change.
Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody, and we'll probably see you next time.
We should because we don't have a holiday.
That hasn't
I say should.
before.
No, it hasn't. But we'll see you next time.